Printmaster QM46 can be equipped with a wide range of extra accessories which may vary from country to country. The powder spray device applies powder to the printed sheet to prevent ink layoff. The glass can be removed for refilling or exchanging the powder. The filling level of powder in the glass should be between the two markings. Please stir the powder from time to time to avoid lumping. The device is turned on via the main switch. The amount of powder can be controlled via turning knobs. Use the larger knob to adjust the total amount of powder. The maximum amount of powder is applied when turning the knob one rotation to the right. The powder ejection can be checked via Special Function 04. Just put a dark sheet of paper in the delivery and watch the powder spreading. When activating the tape inserter, a paper strip can be inserted in the delivery pile after a pre-selected number of prints. The block size can also be predefined by a Special Function 31. The unit has to be turned off when exchanging the paper roll. Just take off the cover and replace the roll. After completing a production run, two strips are inserted. Processing envelopes with a Heidelberg envelope feeder is very easy. Insert the base plate into both bore holes. The envelope feeder is tightened with a wing screw from underneath the feeder pile board. There are several pile boards for different formats. Move the feed table height control bar all the way down. Place the shoe on the control bar and tighten the screws. Replace the rear sheet stops. The long sheet stops are best suited for envelopes. Put one envelope on the tilting feed table and set the lateral sheet stops. Now you can pile the envelopes in the feeder. Stocks piling up on one side can be aligned individually with the tilting feed table. Set the rear stop to the envelopes, applying a little pressure, and start the press. Please check the adjustment of printing pressure. The Just Feed system by a different manufacturer also makes processing envelopes much easier. Put the adjusting help on the pile board. The small position has to be set to load. Move the lateral stop all the way up. The flap of the envelopes should face the spring-suspended side of the unit. The lateral sheet stops should not be adjusted too tightly. Move the small lever to feed after pre-piling. Start the press. Envelopes piling up on one side are leveled out by the spring system. You can also use this system for delivery, which provides for trouble-free laydown of envelopes. The anti-static device can be used to eliminate static charges. There is one neutralizer bar in the feeder and one in the delivery. The guide rail for the feeder with brush rulers has been designed for processing delicate stock of 0.15 millimeter or 0.006 inches thickness and higher. The suction bar should be moved all the way down. Move the forwarding rollers to the sides and remove the sheet monitoring device. Remove the knurled head screw from the guide plate. It can now be taken out and cleaned. We recommend using the guide rail with brush rollers for stock that scratches easily. This plate is tightened with the knurled head screws. Put the sheet monitoring device back in and move the forwarding rollers back into their position. Now close the guard and lift up the frame. Instead of the guide pulleys, it is also possible to install the Super Blue delivery drum, which is also an extra accessory. We will use this tabletop model to show you how to exchange the Super Blue base cover. The black base cover can be removed from the delivery drum. Position a new Super Blue net in the middle of the base cover. Press it on strongly at the upper end. Use a pair of scissors to cut off the upper corner. The front edge of the Super Blue base cover and the Super Blue net are now attached to the cylinder with the Velcro tape. The rear edge of the Super Blue net should be last to be pressed against the cylinder. You can now define the exact tensioning of the net. The Super Blue net is also tightened on the sides. It is very easy to press the net when using an Allen key. Make sure the net is not fit on the cylinder too tightly. If your QM46 is fitted with a basic equipment for numbering and perforating, you can replace the cylinder jacket. Select Special Function 05 and position the press between 90 and 110 degrees. The rear clamping bar can be loosened with the red screw. The rear edge of the jacket will come out of the clamping bar by itself. Hold on to the jacket and inch the press backward to an angle between 35 and 38 degrees. The 3 front stretching bolts are now accessible and can be loosened with the operator tool. Hold on to the rear edge of the jacket and inch the press to an angle between 178 and 183 degrees. The jacket can now be carefully pulled out of the front clamping bar using both hands. Clean the impression cylinder with a rag drenched in wash-up solution. Close all guards. Maximum pressure should be preset when installing the cylinder jacket. Move the circumferential register 10 millimeters or 0.4 inches forward. Then the blanket cylinder can push the front edge of the jacket into the clamping bar. Push the plus button to set the blanket cylinder against the impression cylinder. At an angle between 178 and 183 degrees, the front edge of the jacket with the wider bending edge can be inserted in the clamping bar. The jacket has to be centered laterally. Hold on to the rear edge of the jacket and inch the press to an angle between 35 and 38 degrees. The 3 front stretching bolts can now be tightened again, starting with the screw in the middle. Hold on to the jacket with one hand and inch the press to an angle between 90 and 110 degrees. Push the rear bending in the clamping bar and turn the red screw clockwise until the jacket is tensioned. Stop turning the screw further when hitting the stop. Turn the impression cylinder forward 3 to 5 times with the blanket cylinder set on. Deactivate Special Function 05 to finish the clamping process. Turn the circumferential register and the printing pressure back to their original position. If your Printmaster QM46 features the basic equipment for perforating, you can perforate, crease, and slit. The perforating shaft can be equipped with a maximum of 9 perforating discs, which can be set on and off separately. We will now prepare the perforating shaft for a perforating wheel. The spherical end of the perforating shaft has to be turned to the drive side of the press. Tighten the screws on both sides of the shaft. Run a printed sheet through the press and stop the press. When loosening the stop screw, the perforating wheel can be moved laterally to the required position. Close the guard again and select Special Function 06 for setting up the perforation. The pressure of the perforating wheel is set via the adjusting screw. The pressure is too high if the wheel cannot be turned anymore. The perforating wheel should touch and be turned easily. Turn